I'm Nathan Freeland, president of Reach Consulting. If you are a pastor or church leader, you know that one of the most frustrating times of the year can be the budgeting process. And you go through that line by line, expense by expense, and you get it just right. And then you may have to pass it to a finance committee, and then they want to go through it line by line, and they want to change some things, or they want an explanation of some things. And then you may have to pass it to an elder board, and the same thing happens. And then you may have to pass it to a congregation where they have to vote and approve it. It can be very time consuming and frustrating when everybody doesn't know what to focus on and they want to change everything. I'm going to give you a tip. I talk about this in my book, Church Business, Making the Business of Church Easier, Simpler, and Much Less Painful. But I'm going to share it with you now. Print out your budget on a piece of paper or an Excel sheet and color code it. Here's what you're going to do. Take every line item that's fixed, a cost that you really can't change. It is what it is. Perhaps that's a lease of a copier, or a rent, or mortgage payment, or lease of a vehicle, payroll taxes. These are line items you really can't change. They are what they are. And you color code them red. And this helps your people understand that they can just skip over the red line items because they're really not up for discussion. They are what they are. The next color is yellow, and you can color code certain ministry expenses to be yellow. These may be expenses that are critical to the mission of your church. There may be certain employee expenses, things that you could technically change, but you probably don't want to, or at least you need to have a long, meaningful conversation about what that change is, whether you're increasing those expenses or decreasing them. The next color is green. Color code everything else green. If it's open for conversation, these may be specific ministries, subsets of ministries, certain expenses, perhaps non-critical personnel, expenses that you can adjust annually. If you have a total budget dollar in mind for your complete budget, you can move the green ones around until you meet that total budget. What this does by color coding it is helps your people, your committees, your elder board focus on what is the most important and what is the easiest. And that's the green sections. They can move those numbers all around all day long until you can come to an agreement. And it just helps reduce the amount of time that it takes to complete and finalize your budget. In my experience, budget process meetings that take normally 2 to 3 hours, we've been able to reduce to about 30 minutes. This is just one of many tips I give in my book, Church Business. You can learn more at www.church.business, or you can find it on Amazon. We'd love to have you check it out. We're going to be giving more tips like this over the next few weeks. Follow us, check us out.